That's
Yeah, and
great.
if
Yep.
anyone's interested in doing a deep dive into one of Matt's funds, we could arrange that as well. But while we open it up to questions, any questions about Matt, his team, his deals, how he got started, we could kind of open it up to anything pretty much.
No bad questions, guys. I will say though, I started because my mom, single mom, raised me and my brother, and she started buying houses, man. And by the time I was 16 years old, I think she had like 17 houses, single family, and it was a
Wow.
grind. I was able to see what that requires and what that looks like, and it's not like she was making 10 grand a month. She was struggling to keep them. But 15, 20 years later, she bought them for a third of what they're worth. And that's what I was saying earlier is like real estate's all about the long game, man. It's just finding the properties, getting them and staying in the game.
Looks like we've got James with a question.
Hey Matt,
Hey man.
good to see you again.
Yeah, man.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. You guys have kind of become known as the king of creative deals. But really, I would say, what do you guys kind of look for when you're looking for a good deal that, like, I mean, you kind of mentioned some of the deals that you look for people who are in, debt issues or whatever. But how do you kind of find them? How do you kind of start creatively, like, kind of thinking through different ideas that you have? So, just trying to pick your brain on some of that.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. It's a madness, but there is a method to it. Um, and the best way I can try to answer it, I can give like some examples. I will say that like you have to have a lot of lines in the water, right? I'm this RV park that I'm living at. I have an offer on the 50 acres behind it for owner finance terms to buy it. And I actually don't want them to accept my offer. I just want to plant the seed because I want them to accept my offer that's 50% lower 8 months from now. But I'm starting that process now, right? And so I'm not emotionally tied to any deals. I plant the seed and then I step back and then I confirm that there's no competition. And it's like once you get the broker on your side, now you're golden. And so like that literally happened. He messaged me yesterday. He's like, we can't take that price. I'm like, that's fine, man. This property down the street selling for this price, and I think I'm the only buyer. And he says, I agree with you completely. So that's like I'm like 15% of the way there now, right? It's just a small little thing, but like that deal would be something I buy like a year from now. But I have a lot of lines in the water and a lot of seeds planted at all time, and I'm not like forcing a deal to happen. I'm just like starting the process. So it's a process that I don't even fully have detailed out, but I just do it. I do have a structure, but I don't know I haven't like created a step by step to it to explain it, but there is something there. Um, and I'm just like curious. Like I come from being a real estate agent myself, right? I'm like, hey, James, I know you want to sell, man, but like how about I help you sell it and find a buyer? That's the way we're gonna get you the best price. You're like, no, 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 I need to sell it quick. Okay, so now I'm putting on a different hat. Now we're going down a different path. And any solution is cool with me, which makes it a little bit easier. Like I'm not forcing a sale. I'm just trying to help whichever way I can. Hey man, like, why don't you let me manage this thing? Like, you should keep this. No, I don't want to. And so through that process, I'm actually getting really close to what's the true motivation. And what I'm looking for is like real motivation that I'm buying this better than anyone else because I've done this process. And if not, I want to help them and I want to make a commission or a fee or a wholesale fee or something else. But the deals that I'm buying, like I'm stealing them, right? And it's not like the sellers are upset about that because I already gave them all the other options on what I could help them with. They just, think I can close, and It's not like I'm closing 10 a month, right? I mean, this is at this point, it's like 5 to 7 a year. It used to be 5 to 7 a month, but it was single family and smaller deals. So I'm looking for motivation. Right now is easy because they either have debt coming due, like the simple way I've explained it is people that have debt that's coming up, like balloon payments are here, or they're older and they just want to like cash flow and they'll owner finance it. And then we can work a really creative owner finance deal that works for everybody, right? It's like when you get into owner financing, you can pay a crazy price with a really low interest rate. You could pay a small price with a quick buyout. You know, we did a 0% interest deal. Like you can structure those a million different ways. But I'm just like very clear on like, hey, James, like, it's not only like why are you selling? It's like what do you want to do with the money? Like yeah, I know you want 1 million, but like what are you gonna do with it? Oh, you don't even really need 1 million. You just need 100,000, and then you need the rest of the million 20 years from now, right? Depending on what your goals are. So I just really dive into very specifics, and then I just try to solve the problem for them. Does that help?
Yeah, I love that. Thank you.
Hey, Matt, if I could add on to our process too. Um, and Matthew says this a lot too, but you guys have to be looking at more deals. I'm texting about it in this chat right now too, but and this might further answer your question too, James, but what we see a lot, and Matthew will probably agree with this, is people will look at a couple deals, maybe it's something that they get sent to their inbox or something they find online that's local, or maybe it's on Correctly, LoopNet, CoStar, whatever the resource is, and they fall in love with that one particular deal. This is a space that it's ultimately a numbers game. You can still be intentional, but you have to understand that you have to look at it from an abundance mindset perspective. Every deal we look at, we are okay with not getting that deal. It's okay if we don't buy that because there's so many that we have lined up behind it. And we don't have to force anything ever. And when I first got started in space, this is something that I pretty much think of almost every day when I'm doing some type of negotiations is Matthew always says he who cares the least wins the most. And I think that's very applicable to what we do because there's so many deals. I mean, if a deal doesn't work, go to the next one. We're not trying to marry someone on a first date ever. We want to
Yeah.
gather
And
information.
it's like it just doesn't work right now, but it might work 6 months from now at a
Right.
different price. So
Right.
you have to have like you gotta if you don't have like 10 that you're working right now, you in my opinion, you got nothing.
Nothing.
Like we have like so many deals and we'll just go, we'll just go check on them. Hey, where's this at? Did you sell it? And they just get better and better. And it's just like I've never bought a deal that I'm just immediately seeing and then just going to get. Like it's always the deal that I've been thinking about or talking about for 6 months, 8 months, a year.
Right. And these are marriages. Like you guys are good. It's not just about the acquisition. That's not even the difficult part. You then have to operate it. You then have to manage it. So whenever you see a new deal online, like or in person, you can't say, "Oh, this is now my deal," because that's going to take time to develop. There's lending that has to go through. There's investors that need to be raised for, and then you own it, and then that's when the operations start, and that's the most important part of this whole thing. So you have to think about your exit before you buy anything. You can't just buy it because in theory you're going to make 6% on your investment, 10% on your investment if it's a value add deal. You have to take into account that, okay, well, what's it going to take to manage this? Maybe I don't want to own it.
Yeah, that's so true.
Well, and I
And plumbing could
find
be bad.
Yeah, and I find especially beginner investors, not to say experienced investors don't fall into this trap, they fall in love with the deal too soon or they don't underwrite conservatively enough. I know a lot of people say they underwrite very conservatively, but they just fall in love with the deal and it just when it doesn't really make sense. And that's when you get into trouble. And next year is looking very promising for the people that have sat on the sidelines and are ready and have been putting those lines out like Matthew said. and will be a time when you can capitalize on all of those that maturing debt, right? So
Yep. And you can cut a deal at any point in time. Even if you have hard money, that's the cool part. There's a cool study. I have a master's in business negotiations. I have a psychology degree. And there's a study called a sunken cost fallacy, where people will dig in their heels because they've already invested time, money, energy, and resources into a space. And don't do that. It's not worth it. We had a deal a couple years ago. Matthew will remember this one. We were trying to buy a small apartment complex in North Carolina, and we found something during due diligence, and the property, they were hiding aluminum wiring from us, which makes it uninsurable to a lot of insurance companies. This was
Oh,
a lot of the 70s product, and we did things in the wrong order. And I got very aggressive and started putting together terms. We had investors lined up, and I paid for legal a little too soon. If we waited a couple more weeks, we would have had the inspection report thoroughly reviewed, and we thought we had a great deal and wanted to make sure we didn't lose it. And I got really overzealous and spent the money with one of our attorneys, and we ended up, I spent 15 grand of my own personal money, just from my bank account, and we didn't close on that deal because it was too much of a risk for our investors, for our partners, for ourselves. And that was a very difficult decision because you can make either a $15 million mistake or a multi-million dollar mistake because it's not something you want to own. Because even if we did own it, you have to replace all of the wiring. There's different, not to get in the weeds on this, but you can put clips on it and clamps to mediate it, but it was an old product that had some issues, and it's very important to be disciplined. And there's going to be mistakes that happen like that forever in this industry. And the more you refine that process, the more you can mitigate and minimize those risks. Um, and it's just something you just learn from and apply it to the next one.
Yeah.
and how did you turn that into maybe a positive? So like for example, I've been through similar experiences, but uh it's crappy spending 10, $15,000 on legal or property inspections, but then using that to build the relationship with your investors, being like, hey, this is why we had to pull out. Did you
Yeah.
make lemonade out of that lemon that you had?
Yeah, of course. And it gave us an opportunity to kind of better explain our process. Anytime we go through due diligence or earnest deposits or legal, that's our money, right? We don't use any investor capital until after the deal's closed and it gets signed and completed during title. If you guys are getting into a deal with someone that wants to use your investor money for an earnest deposit or due diligence or inspections, two things I look at is I wouldn't want to do a deal with someone that doesn't even have the money to fund. These inspections are like 3 grand. Yes, it's pricey for a day's work, but it's very important. But if whoever is coming to you with this deal doesn't even have 3 grand, that's the first, or if someone on a team doesn't, maybe they don't, but maybe they're sweat equity, but there's another equity partner that can at least fund an earnest deposit, which is only 1% of a deal, guys. Um, then yeah, I mean, I would avoid that. And then the second piece is you can't take hard commits on investor capital unless you have an open-ended evergreen fund or some type of fund of funds that's already established, um, and the subscription docs are done, or if the deal is already um, up and running and you can see the IRS tax code's been created and for the LLC and all these different things. Like you guys have to, and I'm not giving legal or financial advice, but you guys have to look into this. You have to know who you're investing with, and everybody has great ideas, and you can even have good partnerships, but it's very important to understand the space you're getting into, which is why a lot of people will become limited partner investors or LPs, they call them first, before becoming a GP or a key partner on any type of deal in any capacity. And that was what I did. when I was 20, 21 years old. I just invested as an LP.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand the weight of having skin in the game, and that can go in so many different directions. Whether I mean, you may not have $100,000 put on the deal yourself, but are you front loading the cost for the inspections, for the legal fees, for all that stuff, like you were saying, Jake? That goes miles with investors to see that you're not putting the burden on them to fund everything, that you're in it together as partners, because that's what it really is. And a lot of people, I think, that kind of falls on deaf ears with newer investors, is they don't realize when they're bringing capital partners, those are your partners. They may not be in the general partnership, but they're partners in your deal, and you need to treat them as such. And that means with being transparent, treat them with respect, and just be honest and upfront, and doing your part as well.
Yep. And John made a good point when Matthew was talking a few minutes ago. Um, it's important to know what you're looking for and what you don't buy. I mean, you guys have to just get really good at a few things, maybe one or two things, and be comfortable buying that asset. It's easy to get shiny object syndrome in this space, even if you're an experienced operator. I mean, Matthew and I, we go through it constantly. I mean, how many deals did we get, would you say, in a week, Matt? Just
Just as
to
many
our
as you want.
inbox. How many to our inbox, if you had to
I mean,
guess?
50, 100, like it's easy to turn them up because we've planted a lot of seeds.
Yep. And you just almost have to just pick a space, and just get good at it and know that, hey, maybe I can't buy a 250 unit in Utah because I don't live there or know anybody there, so I'm not even going to waste my time. But I know I can close a 40 unit deal where I live in Austin, Texas, or wherever it is you are.
Think
Yeah.
that kind of brings up a good segue now. You guys recently started a property management company, right? Uh, when did you guys, obviously you guys have the skill set to start something like that and the experience. When did you guys feel it was a right time to start vertically integrating your different lines of business?
It's the core of the entrepreneurial mindset. I have one that I built and sold. I'll try to find a link. It's kind of cool little article. But I didn't want to be out of the management business. And so it's been a few years and had a non-compete and everything. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. It's kind of cool. But man, I just really believe in just being entrepreneurial, and you're gonna have to manage your own stuff anyways, in a sense. But sold that company a few years ago, and now getting back into it, and happy to look at deals if we can manage for you guys, or asset management, or just give you opinions. But I posted that link of the company we had, and I was making good money, man, and all of a sudden it disappeared, and I kind of regret getting out of it, but I didn't have a lot of choice. My wife was running it, and it's stressful, really stressful every day for a long time. So I'm glad she's out of it. But yeah, we're happy to look at deals that we can manage. And the last thing I'll kind of reiterate on the reckless like value add. I mean, this is my experience, so take it what it's worth. Like we own $100 million of real estate. You're not going to just buy one deal and just cash flow and retire. So what you got to do is take action. Like Corey was saying, or Jake, like be an LP, be a GP. Like I'm doing LP deals with Danny just to do it. Like you just have to like love this process. You're not gonna just buy a couple properties and retire, unless you buy them cash and you have like $10 million. But like you have to do a lot, you have to scale, you have to team up with people. And the quicker you take real action, whether that is invest 20K with me or with Jake or whoever, like there's something to that where you just like you're like bought in. Like now you do a little bit more and a little bit more. But just don't think that like this is a 2 year retirement thing. It's not. It's a 30-year retirement. It's, the only thing
It's a
is you don't have
career.
yeah, like you don't have to look at the clock. That's the only difference. Like it's not like you retire faster than anyone who works and has a 401(k). It's just you're just able to be more creative and like do your own thing.
And for those just starting out as well, I know, finding the right partners can be hard to do. So what Corey and I will include in our newsletter for this week is a questionnaire. If you're a passive investor and if you want to interview Matthew and team, we'll give you a list of questions in our newsletter this week, or we'll link it somehow. I don't know. Corey's the technical genius
I'll
of
figure it out.
yeah. And then same if you're becoming a GP and you want to interview a fellow general partner, we'll have some resources for you there as well. Because I think that would be super helpful, and we can share that with the TR3 group on their Thursday call too.
Yeah, that'd be great. And just once again, like, you know, if you're working deals and you want to include me on the emails and I'll negotiate them with you or call the broker with you, and like I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And I genuinely don't have to be involved in the deal. It's just what I do. I don't have another job. So I just look at deals, talk to people. I'm walking around barefoot around town on the phone half the time and just doing my thing.
Yeah, I could speak for you for sure. Matthew definitely leads with value, and that's what we try to do as well. So, and that's what we encourage
Yeah.
everybody to do as well. Just lead with value. Yeah.
Amen. And I will say, guys, like I might save you some time. Like if you're not extremely motivated and taking a lot of action, nothing's gonna happen in this business. So like I recommend you go do something else, truly. Like you have to realize that, this is fun and it's great and it's creative, but it's extremely competitive. And so if you're making one offer a day and I'm making 10, like you're not getting it. And no one's even doing one a day, right? So like you have to be like, how am I better? What is my edge? What is my advantage? And if you can't think of that, like go do something else.
And I'll add this to what you said, Matthew, and it may sound cliche, but um, like I said a little bit ago when I said, yeah, it's a career. And I would argue with most that this is more of a lifestyle. A career is more of a 9 to 5. And when you start when you get to the point where you're driving around a town or you're around home and you start looking at buildings in a different asset or in a different aspect, and when you're looking at them as assets and you're like, oh, I wonder how many units are in that building. I wonder what that last traded for. Oh, this if we're in this part of town, I bet the taxes on that are outrageous. And look at that's at the bottom of the hill. I bet there's a floodplain right there that's going to have flood insurance. When you start thinking about things like this, um, and you don't get irritated and you get excited and it makes that hair stand up on the back of your neck, you're like, oh, I wonder if that's a good deal. That's the fire in your eyes that Matthew's talking about. That's what is going to carry you through some of the dark times of no one's returning my calls. I can't get a yes. That another deal fell through. An investor pulled out. Whatever the punch to the gut is that day, um, you have to want to really enjoy what you're doing to be successful at it. And even if you don't enjoy it, but you're good at it, I would argue you're not successful because you're not enjoying life. But that's just my 2 cents. And if you really want to be investing in real estate, but you don't have that burning desire to know everything about it, that's fine too. You can invest with partners like me and Joseph or Matthew and Jake or Danny or a dozen other people out there that really enjoy what we do, and we're happy to talk to people through it. And whether you want to try it on your own or partner with people that have done it, it's like what Matthew said, we're all here to help each other. Um, don't feel like we're trying to steal each other's investors or nothing. And the only thing that's competitive is let's get deals done, and that's
Yeah,
it. But
that's golden, man. That's so
yep.
true. I agree with all that a lot. And
But
it's like, hey, that's the other thing, man. We got 65 people here, right? Let's say we got what, 50,000? I mean, that's what is that? 3 million, 3.5 million that we could put together on one call. And like if we just sit here and just talk to talk and we don't like go take action, like nothing's happening, right? But there's so much power in the numbers. And the more we get aligned and get in the corner with each other, like, dude, if I had $3 million and I could go make cash offers on properties. Like we could sell something we could buy it for 3 and sell it for 4, like 6 months later, 100%. That'd be really easy for me to do.
Yeah. We have one right now in Austin that we're trying to
Yeah.
sell.
You know, what I
We're
mean, so
making it
like,
2.9. Done.
yeah. And like we could all, what if we all got, we raised uh 300,000 from people together. Like, I mean, what's that number? 15 million or something? Like, there's just so much power in numbers if we all plug in that way.
Absolutely.
So it's going to keep happening at the deal room. We're going to get money together. I'll keep showing up as much as I can, and I'm not going anywhere. Like Corey said, I hope to do this 30 years from now. Like, it's not, hey, make money, retire. Like, stop showing up. Like, this is cool. Like, I feel very blessed. There's people here that maybe what I'm saying or y'all are saying will resonate, and maybe it will lead to a cool friendship or this or that. But like, there's cool things that come from this.
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys could join the Action Takers call tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, I believe it is, right? One Central.
Yep.
And then you got Friday Night Lights as well. I think Jason might be on the call, or he was on the call, but Friday Night Lights, we'll share all those links in the WhatsApp group the day of. And yeah, try to get you guys connected with, whoever can help you solve your problems or whoever you could partner with as well. But
Man.
did we want to wrap this up? I know it's 30 minutes over and we haven't had a late one like this in a little while, but
Yeah. It's been it's like we had so much pent up energy
taking the week off.
from taking a week off for the holiday. Everybody was eager to get back at it. Any questions
Well,
anybody has? Hey, real quick, who's tried calling Matthew before? Just heard his call, saw a post, and picked up the phone and dialed Matthew's number and gave him a cold call. Has anybody? Cassie Jordan has. I just want to throw this out there. Speaking from experience, excuse me, it was earlier this year. I saw a post that Matthew put, and I reached out to him, called me right back, and it was a Thursday actually. It was Thursday morning, and we talked for I don't know 45 minutes or an hour, and then I jumped right on his Thursday afternoon call, and uh, he's been a great asset and a friend ever since. And then I met him in Dallas, him and Jake, and we all went out, had food, got got to know each other even better, and it's all in the rearview mirror from there. And that's my point behind that is you're not going to make connections if you don't reach out. And if you reach out, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? They don't answer the phone. They don't call you back. Best thing that can happen, you can have a friend for life. So uh, I'll uh, I'll close out with that.
Yeah,
But
no, I'm actually I'm gonna
don't
hinge off.
hesitate.
I'm gonna hinge off of that a little bit. And I think he's still on the call. Jordan March. He was on a coaching call that we had, and I kind of spontaneously and kind of crazy, like Jordan was saying, you got to be a little crazy sometimes. I just asked him if he wanted to do lunch while we were in New York, and we did lunch when Corey and I visited New York back in September, and yeah, we're just trying to build and nurture that relationship. So yeah, encouraging everybody to be a little bit crazy. And I know Jordan's left his info in the chat as well. If you guys need to be connected with him, we're happy to facilitate that too. So yeah, especially if you're in New York. Esther, I know you want to go to more networking events, so feel free to reach out to him and see what you can get involved in. But yeah, any final questions before you wrap this call up tonight? All right, we'll keep you posted when we host an event in New York, and we'll definitely be doing that at Jordan's office if the offer's still there. So, all right, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. Corey, last
Thank you.
words.
Next week, we should have clips of this call up on our YouTube channel, so go check it out.
Yeah, and feel free to get in touch if you guys want to present on the call as well. Thank you all for coming out. Take care.
Have a good
Thank you,
night,
guys.
everybody.
Thank you. Good
Thanks.
night. Appreciate it.